Hey, how's everyone doing today? My name is Joe over at Bettorsinsight.com. Today is Saturday, October 10th, and here are free picks. Starting off in college football, we're going to start with a live home dog. We like them to win on straight up on the money line, but we're going to play it safe and take the points plus 3.5. We're going to take Purdue plus 3.5 at home against Minnesota, a 3-unit play, 330 to win 300. Minnesota is banged up. They have 20 players that missed practice this week. They're not sure if they're going to start their third year quarterback, Mitch Lander. He struggled the last 5 games, only with 4 touchdowns, 950 yards total. They're also missing their 2 best players in the secondary, Brianne Bodie-Calhoun and Demarius Travis. Purdue played Minnesota very tough last year. They had the lead as 12-point favorites going into the end of the game, and they gave up a late field goal to lose late in the fourth quarter by a point as 12-point underdogs. Purdue has also won 9 of their last 10 at home against Minnesota. Their quarterback, David Blah, never gave up last week against Michigan State. They were down 24-0, showed a lot of leadership, bringing his team back, giving them a puncher's chance in the fourth quarter, even though they came up a little short. But their running back also was very impressive. Markel Jones, he's coming off a career game with 157 yards, career high, 2 touchdowns, also a career high, and 22 carries, also a career high. He's also tied for first with 5 touchdowns for a freshman, and also third for freshman with 405 yards on the year. We like for Purdue to win this game straight up, like we said, but we're going to take the plus 3.5 points at home, and it's a 3-unit play. In the NFL this week, our free pick is going to be the New England Patriots minus 8.5 against Dallas. It's also a 3-unit play. New England's coming off a bye. They started the season like bats out of hell, just like following the Spygate season when they were near perfect. They lost in the Super Bowl against the Giants, killing their perfect season. But Brady, you can tell he didn't like everything that went on in the offseason, his name being dragged through the mud, and his reputation being tarnished. You can tell he wants to stick it to everybody. And the Patriots, they're not only looking to beat teams, they're looking to destroy teams. And with the Cowboys, with their best wide receiver Bryant out and Romo out, we don't think Whedon can get the job done against the Patriots, and we think Patriots are going to win this game by double digits. They're minus 8.5 points. Like we said, we like them for 3 units, 330 to win 300. Also, we're going to give out a free pick in the NHL today. We're going to go with the Detroit Red Wings money line minus 115 against Carolina Hurricanes. Detroit is locked and loaded, ready, geared up for a playoff run later at the end of the year. They're definitely Stanley Cup contenders. We just had them on Friday night on the puck line against Toronto plus 170 and hit that one, and we're going to come right back with them on Saturday on the money line minus 115. Detroit has won 20 of the last 27 against Carolina, and they've won 4 of the last 5 in Carolina. It's also a 3-unit play on Detroit, 345 to win 300. A little fantasy players we like tomorrow in the NHL, along with Week 5 in the NFL. We'll start off in the NHL tomorrow. There's a lineup we have in our 50-50. We're 2-1 so far this year in our 50-50s. But we're going to go with Danny Malkin for $7K and Tyler Johnson for $6K. For our centers, Jacob Voracek for $6,300, Benoit Pouliot for Edmonton for $4K, Phil Kessel playing with Crosby in the first power play for Pittsburgh for $7,200, Oli Mata, he's a stud young defenseman for Pittsburgh for $3,800, Seth Jones for Nashville for $3,700, also on the point. And in goal, we're going to have Peter Mrazek for $7,000 with Detroit. Like we said, we'd like Detroit to win Saturday, so we're going to start them in net. And our utility player, we're going to go with T.J. Oshie, playing with Ovechkin and Backus and on the power play. Had a monster game in game one. He's a nice value pick for 5,000. $0 remaining in salary in this on this lineup. We're going for our third 50-50 cash in the last 4 days, and also our third cash in the sniper event. So hopefully our guys can go off for you guys and make you some money for the NHL, DraftKings, DFS on Saturday. Some players we like in the NFL for DraftKings this week. For quarterbacks, we like Tom Brady. Like we said, we got the Patriots, and we think they're going to score a lot of points this week. Brady's 7,800, and Joe Flacco is a value pick for 5,600. For running backs, we have Melvin Gordon for San Diego. He hasn't had his broke out game yet, but he has been running the ball well. Look for him to have a good game this week for 4,900, and also Deion Lewis for the Patriots for 4,800. A few wide receivers, Mike Evans for Tampa for 6,100, and a couple value wide receivers, Kamar Aiken for the Ravens. Steve Smith hurt, it's only 3,800. We look for him to get a lot of targets this week. And also Willie Snead for New Orleans. He's only $3,000. Got a lot of targets, and the guy gets open for Breeze. If you can get him in the end zone, he's gonna definitely be worth the $3,000 pickup. A couple tight ends: Richard Rodgers for the Packers for 2,900, and Owen Daniels for 2,700 for Denver. Owen Daniels knows that system well with Kubiak, playing with them the last 4 or 5 years. Baltimore and back in Houston. Oakland gives up the most fantasy points to tight end, and he's only 2,700. We think it's a very nice pick this week. And finally, a couple defenses. Denver is 3,600, and Kansas City going against Chicago. Turnover-prone offense is 2,800. So that's our DraftKings DFS players we like this week in Week 5. Hopefully you guys can hit something big, a new millionaire every week in DraftKings, and someone's got to win it, so why not you, huh? A couple other things we want to say. At the end of every segment we talk about things that we don't like and what don't make sense. This week I wanted to just quickly talk about these games in London. The NFL, you're killing us in the West Coast, having to get up at 6:30 in the morning for a football game in London. I can see if you have one game over there, all right. They like the game too. It's a good market there. You can make a bunch of money. I understand, but 3 weeks, all different weeks. I mean, it's ridiculous. You got Buffalo the next game in London. 6:30 start. It's just ridiculous. I don't know who wants to get up in the morning at 6:30 in the morning to watch football. Hopefully next year they can either have it all in the same week, or just limit it to one game over there. But come on, guys, this is a little much, a little ridiculous now. Having to get up at 6:30 3 different weeks is just brutal. But this is Joe over at Bettorsinsight.com. Wishing you guys luck this week. Hopefully you guys can cash some tickets and hit some tournaments in the DraftKings. Talk to you guys soon. Good luck.